Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So, the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else. Think about it. Thanksgiving, guys, that's one we all can just go to mentally. We've experienced a big overconsumption meal, extra turkey. And then you feel bloating and in a matter of, finishing the meal. And that puts extra stress on the digestive system. So extra stress is going to cause extra bloating, which is going to be the cause of your overeating that big meal. What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Macro Hour with Nikkiey Stott, co-founder and brand personality of WarriorBabe, where we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. Bloating, the causes, the cures, and how to avoid it is what I'm going to dive into today. I have gotten so many questions over the last couple of months since kicking off this podcast, like in my DM saying, hey, can you bring, an episode to the podcast around bloating? I've gotten whenever I post, ask me a question on my stories, it's like, how do I, prevent bloating, or what causes bloating, or how do I stop it? Yada, yada, yada. So I was like, I don't know if this is worthy of a long answer, but I'm going to turn it into a long answer for this podcast and for the sake of today's episode. But for me, there's two, just to dive right into it. There's two main things that I believe bloating comes from. I'm going to dive into other causes and the management of bloating, but the two things that came to my mind was okay, I could just immediately answer this right now. Was number one, you ate too much. Okay. And so in one sitting, you ate a shit ton of food and all of a sudden you're feeling that bloat within the 30 minutes after eating that meal. We've been there. We've all experienced that. I experienced it literally 2 weeks ago when I went out to dinner. I don't know if you guys saw it on my Instagram story. You follow me on Instagram. Do it because I'm very raw, real, and honest on it. But after the end of the dinner, when I got home, I was just standing in my mirror and I was like, oh, I ate too much. I feel extremely bloated. It was very uncomfortable. So that's number one. Number two is you may have some type of deficiency where you cannot break down whatever you are eating, right? AKA food intolerance. Two of those are the causes of bloating of the five that I'm going to dive into. But that was straight off the bat. I can answer this right now. Those are the main two things that come to my mind as to why you're experiencing bloating. But for the sake of the podcast, I'm going to dive into bloating, the causes, the management, all of the things. So let's just get right to it. So just to engulf what bloating is, just speak about it in a very, very broad spectrum here. It's the feeling of fullness or tightening in your abdomen. And that's accompanied by excess fluid or gas. And it can be very uncomfortable. It makes your abdomen feel swollen or distended. So that's bloating in a nutshell. Now I'm going to dive into the 5 causes of bloating, and then I'll touch on 6 management styles of bloating. So the first cause of bloating I just alluded to very shortly there was food intolerances. So some people may have difficulty digesting certain foods. You may have this, your friends may have this, you may have heard this by following people on Instagram or social media. Lactose and gluten is two very common food intolerances. And so this can cause bloating and this can cause other digestive symptoms. If you suspect that you have a food intolerance, this is what I recommend doing. It's what we tell our Warrior Babes inside the Warrior Babe Blueprint program. They go through an elimination diet. And they eliminate the food from their diet that may be triggering this bloating effect. And then when you eliminate it, you can see that your symptoms are improving, right? Hopefully. If not, then you have to go back and see what may be another food type that is causing that trigger to happen and why you may be feeling bloating. So it's narrowing down, if you know exactly what it is, lactose or gluten or dairy or anything like that, and you can narrow it down, and that's your trigger because within 30 to 45 minutes you're feeling a bloat, or even sooner than that, then that's your trigger point. So try eliminating that and then seeing if your symptoms improve. Now, I don't mean eliminating it entirely. It's just try and find out what you may, without going through all the testing and all the things that are that are out there that you can do. but just try doing that and seeing if your symptoms do improve. And then if you do know that that's your trigger point, okay, cool. Then I'm not saying restrict it, but you can know that you may have some type of effect when you do bring this back into your diet, or you can just not do it as much, right? So for me personally, like, I'm doing this 10X health system where I'm getting my genes tested and my blood work tested. Super dope. Check it out, 10xhealth.com. But anyway, so I believe that, like, and what I'm learning from Gary Brecka, who is the face of 10X Health, is that, like, people may have quoted it a food intolerance, but what I've learned from Gary Brecka is, like, you may just have some type of gene mutation that you are not able to break down that specific food item. So if you guys want to learn more about it, it's super dope. Check it out. Check out Gary Brecka. He's like the GOAT in this field right now. So like, I'm getting tested because for me personally, it's like I have some type of flare up whenever I have Greek yogurt or like some types of dairy. And so within like a matter of a couple of minutes to a half an hour to 45 minutes, like I have this distended bloating feeling and it's so uncomfortable. So I know that that's a trigger point. I'm aware of that. I don't have it often, but when I do, this is what happens. So I'm getting the genes tested to see if I have some type of gene mutation where I can't break it down. And so I need to supplement in a different way for it. So I'll keep you guys posted on that once I get the results back. So that's number one, food intolerances.
What's up, everybody? Today's episode is brought to you by Paleo Valley's grass-fed whey protein powder. If you're on a mission to build muscle, stay toned, and smoothly navigate menopause, this message is for you. Paleo Valley's protein comes from 100% grass-fed cows, ensuring a clean, high-quality source of protein that supports muscle maintenance and growth. It's ideal for those of us looking to enhance our strength training results and overall well-being during menopause. With no hormones or antibiotics, just pure nutrient-rich whey, it's perfectly designed to help keep your body feeling strong and energized. Blend it into your smoothies or stir it into water after a solid workout for a post-workout drink. Also to mention, this protein powder is absolutely delicious. And I'm not just saying that for the partnership, it's actually pretty solid. Are you ready for a great quality source protein powder? Head over to paleovalley.com/the macro hour and use the macro hour for 15% off your first order. Now let's get back to the show.
Number two is excess gas. So like, gas in the digestive tract is a normal byproduct of digestion. However, when excess gas builds up, it can cause bloating and it can cause discomfort, right? Like, I personally have experienced this whenever I have a certain type of vegetable, aka Brussels sprouts. And, I just don't want to be within 10 feet, 25 feet of somebody after I have Brussels sprouts for the sake of me and for the sake of them. So that's excess gas is a form of bloating too as well. You guys, I know we've all felt that. We're human. You get these little bops and bubbles and all this stuff in your digestive tract after you may have a certain type of food. So that's number two. Number three is hormonal changes. So specifically for you ladies, some of you guys, I know I do, experience bloating and water retention around your menstrual cycle due to your hormone fluctuations that you experience. Totally normal. It's like, that you're a week out from your period and you are experiencing bloating. That's totally normal. Or like right around your period, as soon as it's going to come, it's like you're experiencing bloating. That's hormonal changes that are going in with your body, literally it's happening within that area. So that's totally normal. Okay. So hormonal changes, bloating, like if it's good to know, it's good to track your period. I use, Flow, the app Flow. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like whenever I experience bloating, I'm like, why do I feel more bloated than before? And I would go in the app and be like, okay, this is like, I'm a couple days off my period. Totally normal. And just puts you at ease. So it's number three. Number four is overeating. So at the start of the podcast, I alluded to this. If you consume a large meal, and particularly like those meals that are high in fat, this will cause bloating. I like to joke around with the WarriorBabes inside the community. I'm like, please don't be an asshole with your food. Like if you have a refeed day or you have a cheat meal day, I'm like, please do not be an asshole with your food because you will experience these things. It will be uncomfortable. Okay. So yeah. And like that also too, a large meal, it puts, it puts a lot of extra stress on your digestive system. Think about it. Thanksgiving, guys, that's one we all can just go to mentally. We've experienced a big overconsumption meal, extra turkey, and like that. So, and then you feel bloating and in a matter of, finishing the meal. And that puts extra stress on the digestive system. So extra stress is going to cause extra bloating, which is going to be the cause of your overeating that big meal. So when you eat too much food, you guys, your stomach has to it has to stretch to accommodate the extra volume. Isn't that insane? When you have extra food, a big meal, your stomach has to stretch to accommodate that. So this can cause discomfort. The stomach muscles have to work harder to break down the food and to move it through your digestive system at this point. So that's the cause of bloating, overeating. Don't overeat. And I'm going to get into talking about this. There's a big way you can manage that throughout your day. So I'm going to get into that in the management of bloating. But the last one that I want to talk to with the causes of bloating is number 5, which is swallowing air. So when air is swallowed while eating, drinking, even talking, or I don't know if you guys are gum chewers. Holy shit, do you swallow a lot of air when you're chewing gum? But this can also accumulate in the digestive tract and it can cause bloating. It can be super uncomfortable. Okay. So swallowing air, number 5. Gum chewers. I've been there too. When I was competing 8 years ago now. Yeah, 8 years ago, 2015. I think that's 8 years. Around that time frame, right? 2015 to 2018 when I was competing, I chewed a shit ton of gum because it helped me manage my food cravings and just pop it in and felt like I was eating. But I was really just chewing the gum. But man, did I swallow a shit ton of air. So that can cause bloating. And I felt that too when I was getting closer and closer to show day and I was just eating packs of gum a day, like people go through cigarettes. It was just so uncomfortable. So if you do that and you're realizing that you're bloating, you're probably swallowing a lot of air. Okay, so those were the 5 causes of bloating: food intolerances, excess gas, hormonal changes, overeating, swallowing air. Now I want to talk to the management of bloating. So the first thing is dietary changes. And I tried to put this in order as the causes of bloating, but the first one is dietary changes. So avoiding foods that are known to cause bloating, right? I spoke to that. I spoke to the elimination diet. Things that are going to cause the bloating, try and eliminate that and see if your symptoms improve. So, and focus on just eating a wholesome, balanced diet, right? Healthy fats, lean proteins, good carbohydrates. And then that's going to bring me into number 2, which is eating smaller meals. This is just an absolute game changer, you guys. Eating smaller, more frequent meals throughout the day can seriously prevent bloating by reducing the amount of food in the stomach at any given time, right? I spoke to overeating and what that does. It stretches, your stomach has to stretch to accommodate a large volume of food. So if you're one of those breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you're eating big meals, you're going to feel the bloating sensation after having that big meal. And why would I recommend just breaking it down to 5 or 6 meals throughout the day? Smaller, more frequent meals, having the good balance of protein, fats, and carbs. And that's going to help prevent bloating, and also just maintain really good energy levels for yourself too as well. This is what we do inside of WarriorBabe. This is everything that we recommend to our WarriorBabes. And one of the main things is just eating smaller, more frequent meals. It's a game changer. And that just helps your digestive tract not experience so much stress, and your stomach muscles not having to work so much harder after having big meals. Okay, so that was number 2. So number 1, number 2 went together, dietary changes and then eating smaller, frequent meals. Number 3 is slow down while you are eating. So, it kind of alludes to swallowing air. If you're eating too quickly, you will swallow a shit ton of air, which can contribute to bloating. So take your time, chew your food. You ain't in no rush, right? Try and avoid talking while you're eating too as well, because it's a 2-for-1. You're swallowing air by eating and then you're talking while you're eating. So you're swallowing more air. So they're just small little recommendations. You want to be oh my God, I got to stop talking while I eat now because I'm swallowing air because I feel it's bloating. No, it's not like that. Okay. Just slow down while you're eating. Take your time. You ain't in no rush. Enjoy the meal. And just be aware of that. Ladies, are you feeling frustrated with body changes you're experiencing during menopause? It's time to take control. If you're between 45 and 65 years old and tired of struggling with body fat and muscle loss, WarriorBabe is here for you. At WarriorBabe, we've helped over 18,000 women just like you lose body fat, build toned muscle, and understand their bodies better with personalized plans based on hormone and thyroid testing and more. Imagine knowing exactly what your body needs to see real results and results that last. Look, don't wait anymore. Take charge of your health and join our community of strong, empowered women. Visit WarriorBabe.com/apply today to start your transformation. That's WarriorBabe.com/apply. All right, let's get back to the show. Number 4 is drink plenty of water. Like, this goes for anything and everything in life. Staying hydrated is so important to help flush out like excess sodium that may be in the meal that you're eating and fluids that may be contributing to your bloating. So keep in mind what I do is like drinking water can make me feel full, right? So like it's so funny because Luke's always like, do you want to drink with your meal? I'm like, no, I don't like drinking with my meal. I don't know if you guys are the same way, but it makes me feel fuller faster. So I have my meal first, and then afterwards I'll chug like a shit ton of water. Now, can that be uncomfortable? Sometimes yes. Or like I'll pace my water as I'm eating, but I typically like to focus on eating and then having my water afterwards. But just make sure throughout the day, no matter what, it doesn't have to be around the meals, but just make sure you're drinking plenty of water and staying hydrated because it will help flush out all the excess things that you're eating, sodium, fluids, all that jazz. So that was number 4. Number 5 is exercise. Exercise, guys, is huge. Like regular physical activity can promote a healthy digestion and reduce excess gas and bloat and all of these things. It can even reduce constipation, just moving your body. Like if you are so standstill, a lot of people experience constipation during that time, or being so sedentary. By you just getting regular physical activity every single day, whether it's going out for a walk or it's strength training or doing something, it will help promote a healthy digestive tract, right? So make sure you're just getting some type of exercise, okay? Please. Not even just for bloating, just for your overall health. So that's number 5. Number 6, the last one, is try your best to reduce stress. So stress has, it can have a significant impact on your digestive system, right? I alluded to a little bit with overeating, but having just a stressful lifestyle or you constantly being under a ton of stress can contribute to bloating. So when your body, I'm going to try and explain it and break it down here a little bit, but when your body is stressed, your body is in like fight or flight, right? You guys have heard that before, flight or flight mode, and that it gets activated. So which at that point, when that gets activated in your body because you're stressed, this slows down your digestion. This decreases blood flow to your digestive system and your digestive organs. And this can lead to bloating. This can lead to cramping. This can lead to constipation, all of the things, right? So if you are a stressful individual and you are constantly bloated, this is what's happening, right? So try to eliminate your stress along with the other things that I shared of management of bloating. But when you try and eliminate your stress, like you can do things like throughout your day, just practice deep breathing if you're stressed. Incorporate, a great form of exercise for this, as I just spoke to in the last one, but a great one for this is yoga. So incorporating that into your routine. But these are ways that you can reduce stress. But if you are a stressed individual and that's just your lifestyle that you lead out and you constantly are feeling the sensation of bloat in your body, that's what's happening. Your digestion is slowing down. It's decreasing blood flow to those organs and it's causing you to be bloated. But that's not a major, it's a multitude of things, you guys, that can cause bloating. So keep that in mind. Like being stressed isn't just one of them. It could be that you do have food intolerance. It could be that you did overeat. It could be that you are swallowing a shit ton of air. Like there's so many factors. And even there's factors that I didn't allude to in this podcast today. But there are so many factors that can be attributed to why you're feeling bloated, and why you're experiencing that. So I hope this podcast helped you guys, right? So I broke down like the causes of bloating, just a few of them. Again, there's probably so many more, but these are the ones that I felt like were probably the most that you guys would be experiencing, especially the overeating and the food intolerance, y'all. Like pay attention to that kind of stuff. And be able to be aware of what may be causing those, like overeating, break it down into small frequent meals. But again, to the food intolerances, be aware of what is causing that trigger to happen, the bloating to happen, what's the trigger food, and try and eliminate it and to see if your symptoms do improve. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. Causes of bloating, management of bloating, all of the things today was bloating. So again, I hope it helped you guys. Take a screenshot of the podcast. Let me know that you guys are enjoying it. I'd love to see that shared on social media so that I can give you guys a heart, appreciate the love, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Hey guys, real quick. If you're interested in taking your body to the next level, lose body fat, build more muscle, feel more confident, do it alongside one of our 30+ professional coaches. Work one-on-one with her to eliminate all of the guesswork that you may have. And all you need to do is just do the work that she tells you to do to get to those goals of yours. Now, to learn more, click the link below this podcast and apply to our VIP program right now.